Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday to you. If my microphone is really weird or sounding off or too loud, please let me know. I think I have it. I think I have it moderately adjusted where we're okay. But yeah, Kathleen, good to see you, love. And here we are, Monday, March 28th. Today is going to start a very deep, impactful week. This is going to be a 5-part series. Part 1 is today. And I'm going to be discussing the impact, the ramifications, and the healing process when you have been, or when we all have been, in a relationship with a narcissist. Narcissist, narcissistic sociopath, narcissistic psychopath. There's so many different levels of narcissism. But we're going to kind of dive in here today. I'm going to be sitting in here today with you for a hot minute. So we're going to kind of nestle in and really dive in. Today's topic is when you dance with a narcissist. This particular article, oddly enough, now I wish that were not the case. I wish I could say that this was not the case. But this article is one article that I have gotten the most feedback about, which is really sad. It is. It's sad. And I personally, I have been in a couple of narcissistic relationships, and definitely one worse than the other. But either way, it is such a devastating life impact relationship, and it's not something that when it's over, it's just done. No. It takes a very heavy toll on your emotions, on how you process like life afterwards. It has a direct impact on what you're going to do with relationships after that point. And one of the scary places is that if you don't realize it in time to start making a change for yourself, then you start making that your normal. Now, being with a narcissist becomes just what you're used to, becomes your comfort zone. And sorry, one second. I didn't think you guys needed to hear me sneeze. Okay, so when you dance with a narcissist, the type of person we hope to avoid being in a relationship with or having to deal with at all, and that is a narcissist. Now, please keep in mind, we're not just talking about romantic relationship. We're talking about this could be a friend. This could be a family member. This could be somebody you work with. But it's one of the most challenging and frustrating things that you can go through with somebody. A narcissist often act in ways that defy all definition of normal. They regularly break the rules, tell lies, break promises, degrade, demean, exhibit unjust, aggressive, and abusive behavior that is inappropriate, childish, without remorse, and inhuman. And it's likely, if you have suffered narcissistic abuse, that you have a very high level of integrity. And it's likely you're known as a person who does the right thing. You have a conscience. And because you do, you're mindful of considering your environment and other people. Therefore, you will be dismayed and even regularly incensed by the narcissist's inability to conduct themselves appropriately or abide by basic human morality and decency. You will fight for decency and morality to the nth degree, and before long, you'll find yourself lecturing and prescribing correct behavior as if you were talking to a 5-year-old. Life with a narcissist is like a bag of tricks and a box of chocolates. You never know what's going to morph out of just thin air or be unwrapped next. And you are constantly on edge, walking on broken glass and suffering from high levels of anxiety. And understandably, you want the instability and madness to stop. When we are in a scope like this, this starts to create that cycle that happens in our mindset, because we want this to make sense. We start wanting all of this to make sense. But one thing I'm going to point out probably several times in this topic is that a true narcissist or narcissistic sociopath, they do not have that part of the brain that can identify, oh, I've done this wrong, or I actually have compassion. I feel sorry that I did this to you. They don't care. A narcissistic sociopath does not care at all if they hurt you. Andrew, welcome to the space, man. So, forcing accountability logically seems to be the answer, so that the crazy feelings and fear can end. However, you will never, ever make a true narcissist accountable. Always remember that with a narcissist, it is always going to be your fault. Always. You did something wrong. You said something wrong. You acted inappropriately. You caused whatever the argument was. It was you. It's never them. One thing is that your integrity is used against you. It's extremely important to know the strength that you possess, which is integrity, which is, in fact, one of the greatest weapons that the narcissist uses against you. Firstly, understand that narcissist purposefully targets people who have high levels of integrity. And the reason that he or she knows is this. Skenny, welcome to the room, man. The reasons that they do this is that they know these things. That you will take responsibility for cleaning up the messes that they create. You will stoically work overtime on cleaning up these messes. You are the perfect person to blame because you vehemently try to prove your integrity to the narcissist rather than just leave, despite the abuse. And by focusing on trying to get the narcissist to act like a responsible and considerate adult, you will hand over lots of much needed narcissistic supply, which is attention. The narcissist can accuse you of lack of integrity in any area that you pride yourself in. Being a good parent, being a good person, being a caring role model, a pet lover, honest business person, etc. List can go on and on. And this grants omnipotent delight when the narcissist views how much this hurts you. You will be a partner who loves and cares, therefore willingly handing over your resources, time, support, and money. By preying on your need for integrity, the narcissist has set you up to lose your mind. And the more he or she attacks and pillages supply and resources from you, as a result of your high levels of integrity, well, the more you will try to righteously force the narcissist to be accountable. And in fact, you may go out of your way to prove a point, do the right thing, set the right example, hoping that they will learn and start acting like a decent person. And this, my friend, is wishful thinking. The narcissist, by the very definition of what a narcissist is, does not want to be accountable, does not want to play fair, does not want to conform, and does not want to do the right thing. Listen, a narcissist believes that playing by the rules makes him or her like everyone else. And oh man, in their world, they are not like everyone else. Ever. In fact, the narcissist watches you doing all the right things and inwardly kind of laughs about how pathetic you are for doing it. And loves it because it gives him or her ample opportunity to keep mining supply while you keep trying to force him or her to be as good as you. It's an evil, vicious cycle that can make you feel like you're losing your ever-loving mind. The narcissist believes that being good would mean being reduced to just mere human, swallowed whole and controlled by the system. The narcissist thinks that this will create a vulnerability and take away his or her edge of remaining separate, having the upper hand, securing their narcissistic supply. To cooperate means that he or she will have no way to steal energy to fill up the empty, painful void within. And this would just upspell the emotional annihilation. You must understand that there is no way to make the narcissist accountable. And trying to is one of the greatest hooks that keeps you stuck in the abuse. Excuse me. Thus begins the deadly dance. A horrible addiction process occurs when you try to exert control over their actions and demand that that there's accountability. And in fact, the more you try to control the uncontrollable, the more you lose control of yourself. This becomes even more of a challenge, within other dynamics and different types of relationships. But, if you have, for example, and this is not just for a woman, I'm saying like it's typically with a woman. Like, for example, take a woman who is more of a submissive nature and a narcissist who is obviously trying to exert a dominant nature. That is a poisonous, toxic, horrible relationship balance right there. Because the person that has, and there's men who are more of the submissive nature, but I'm saying that the submissive nature person is destined to just be dug down into a hole so deep, and it is a vicious process of getting out of that hole. As you're focused on trying to make the narcissist normal, decent, intensifies. The more you expose yourself to the mind-bending twists and turns, the insane behavior, and the intense gaslighting, maneuvers, projections, justifications, and just downright lies that are going to tear your self-esteem, your self-belief apart. And before long, you will think that you are absolutely going crazy and losing your mind. And you find that you can barely function. And as the process intensifies, you will feel so empty, tormented and anguished that you may feel like life is just not worth. It's not worth it. And I promise you, it is the strongest, most intelligent people with high integrity that suffer the most in this deadly dance. Be very aware, you can't win this game with them. And trying to win will just grant ample supply to the narcissist every step of the way. The more you show things that are important to you, the more that you show that level of passion or that level of compassion. Well, you're giving them supply. Listen, the narcissist is gonna fight dirty. The need for integrity creates the perfect forum for the narcissist to unleash his or her most powerful arsenal. And within arguments, he or she has a wide open playing field with no boundaries. It's like a bloodthirsty game of Mortal Kombat with no rules. Listen, the narcissist has no conscience. Therefore, an endless amount of nasty tools are readily available. What are some of those tools, you may ask? I'm going to tell you. Outrageous lies in order to gain whatever goal they have in mind. Gaslighting techniques in order to get you to doubt yourself. Imagined allies to back up his or her claims. Malicious comments to hurt you. Attacks on your integrity to disarm you. Expert projection to make what he or she did your fault. Purposely outrageous and childish, nonsensical comments just to excite you, just to incense you. Refusal to remain on the topic at hand. That's a huge one. Refusal to remain on the topic at hand. Insistence on boundaries within the conversation, granting him or her all the rights to continue speaking, and you, none. Discard and abandonment techniques regardless of the state that you're in. Meaning, the more distressed you are, the more delight in abandoning you in that moment. Attacking you in regard to your distress, hysteria, or anger that has occurred within this argument. And also the ability to use any of the things I just said, plus more, to purposefully punish you and create the highest level of anguish possible. No human being is a match for these tactics. And if you do try to match the narcissist's game with any of their tactics, they will immediately pounce on your lack of integrity, which throws you into despair. The narcissist doesn't believe I am a decent person. This destroys your soul and mission to change the narcissist. Or you will feel the incensed mind-bending rage of, who are you to accuse me of lack of integrity? Whichever way it goes, you end up battered and distraught. And they will have obtained narcissistic supply and the omnipotent knowing that he or she can have this effect over you. You can't shrug off allegations like they can. Let me tell you something. The narcissist, once securing you in their life, actually doesn't care whether or not you think that they're a good person. They're, the end game, simply in the game there are two reasons that the narcissist does what they do. There's two reasons they interact with anyone. And one is to secure narcissistic supply. And number two is having a person to hurt in order to offload their torment of their own inner self. You have to accept that the narcissistic supply does not hold or even care about the model of love and relationship that you do. Like their values, needs, and neuron brain pathways, they are miles apart from yours. If you're a compassionate, loving, kind person, you're empathetic, you care. Right? They don't. Now they're going to have plenty of times that they're going to come up and they're going to try to simulate that they care. They can pretend really well, but you got to remember you're a character. Okay? You are a character in their play. And as long as they can get benefit from you, well, then you're worth keeping around. You're worth controlling and manipulating. If they hurt you and keep you broken, well, guess what? They're also teaching you and training you to make that world your normal. It's a harsh place, man. Listen, the more you need, the less you're going to get in this situation. At the time of entering this argument, you will feel that you are seeking accountability for a specific issue. Now, as a result of the argument, you will feel totally unsafe and need accountability for all the brutal abuse that occurred within the argument as well. And the more you try to gain that accountability, the less you're going to receive it. Then, the more accountability you need, and the vicious cycle expands and broadens until it is literally ripping your life apart. You know, when you are disintegrating and feel completely losing yourself, because this is when you start acting like a crazy person. They've pushed all the right buttons at this point. You may call them 20 times in a row. Start seeking people in the community to tell them the truth about this person. You may be constantly checking their Facebook, phone records, contacts about what they are doing or what they're not doing. And your whole life is going to become obsessed and totally taken over by the need to just simply get accountability. Why? Because we don't want to feel crazy. We don't want to act crazy. We want to know that we're justified in how we feel. And the thing is, you are. But you're not going to get that list of justifications. You're not going to get that accountability. And that drives us nuts. I mean, this is the exact opposite of where you want to be. With your focus completely obsessed with what the narcissist is or isn't doing, he or she has you right where they want you, which is detached from your true self. No longer are you able to healthily supply yourself with your basic emotional needs, sustenance, safety. And it's likely that you're no longer able to look after your practical and even survival needs effectively. You may find it virtually impossible just to do things on a regular basis, like eating properly, sleeping properly, paying bills, life functions, So, how do we drop the need for accountability and reach acceptance? Now, I want you guys to really listen to this carefully, because hopefully this is going to be your truth. Understandably, you're going to be operating from the mind-bending aspect of you should or should not be doing this. And how on earth can somebody do what you do? And this may seem correct at a human and logical level, but this does not help you create a healthy and accountable life with accountable people. And one of the largest fundamental lessons of life and intense learning curves that we are forced to face as a result of narcissistic abuse is this. People can be and do whatever they want to be and do. And this lesson of acceptance is one of the most essential when recovering from narcissistic abuse. And I'm going to read that again. People can be and do whatever they want to be and do. That means you're included in that. Now, there's only two ways that we can live our life. There's only two ways. And okay, I'm sorry, I was reading it back and Kathleen totally understood. I would love to hear your thoughts on it as well. But there's two ways that we can live our life. And those two things are, one, resistance. And two, acceptance. Now, when we judge something as wrong, we set ourselves up energetically, energy being the true note that creates our reality, as my experience is wrong. And because of this thing being wrong, I therefore I have to make it right in order to be okay. So, for example, if you do something bad to me and I decide to be affected by it, which is a normal human reaction, well, I'll replay it in my mind, and every time I do, I feel the pain of what you did to me. You are, however, no longer standing there and doing it to me. So I'm actually free to get on with the truth of my life, but I can't because what you did was wrong. So I have assessed my life can't be right now because you exchanged with me in a way that was wrong. Excuse me. And now your wrongness has now become my wrongness. I took it on. And it can't be fixed until I change you from being wrong into being right. Understandably, this is very powerless. I have no power to change you. And if I try to, I can't have a right life until I change you from being wrong. So the truth is, I'll be having a wrong life forever because I'm never, ever going to get to that place with you. But I've now taken this on to me. Why? Because, listen, why would I have a wrong life forever? And it's because even if I could force you to change into right, which is highly unlikely and impossible when dealing with a true narcissist, well, more and more wrong people would still keep coming into my experience and keep doing wrong things to me. So now I have opened up and I have allowed the wrong. I am accepting this wrong into myself, and I am becoming powerless to change this because you're not going to change it. You will never force them to be right. But we have to hold on to resistance and acceptance. So now here I am, that now I'm bringing in more and more wrong into my life. So why? Sounds crazy, right? Why would I keep attracting the wrong behavior that I detest so much? And the answer is simple. It's because I have an intense focus and dislike, judgment on wrong. I take it personally. I make the other people's behavior about me. And I judge who they are and try to fix them and change them in a futile attempt to make me happy, rather than take responsibility for being the creator of myself. All because I have not yet learned the vital soul lesson of acceptance and unconditional love, which is this. And I want you guys to listen to this. And this is also an excellent message to send to this narcissistic person and then walk away from them. I love you and all of life enough to allow you to be whoever you want to be on your journey. And I love myself enough to choose what is the true journey for me. Therefore, if we are not a match, thank you for showing me what I needed to heal within myself. And I can let go and allow us both to experience the journey that is our choice as it stands right now. Let's experience the journey that is our choice as it stands right now. Whenever we judge something as wrong, we are in resistance. And by resisting this thing, we think we are saying no to it. Yet in reality, we're saying yes and bringing it into our experience. Resistance hooks us into the fight of trying to change something that is wrong into being right, and pollutes our being and experience with wrong in that process. Listen, true acceptance does not mean tolerating. It means the exact opposite. Acceptance means we observe the narcissist's behavior and accept that the narcissist does what he or she does because they're a narcissist. With this acceptance, you will no longer have the need to change or fix the narcissist for your own well-being. The gift in learning how to stop trying to get accountability is the peace and the acceptance that we are unlimited beings with all of the resources of life at our disposal. We don't have to try to force unmakeable deals to work because there's plenty more of what we really want available in life. Listen, You need to establish that you do have the resources within you to create your own truth and fullness. You can allow others to be whoever they wish to be. And if who they are or what they do does not line up with your truth, then that person does not need to be in your reality. Leave. Stop participating and put your focus fully onto creating what it is that you want and you need in your life. The narcissistic relationship truly is one of the most damaging, harmful, just it's a black hole. It is a deep black hole, and it can rip your emotions and rip your present state of mind, tear it apart. And we get lost, we get stuck. Listen, dealing with this, helping people get free of this pattern and routine is one of the things that it's one of my main focuses I've done for 25 years. And the thing is, the more rooted that people get, where they start to lose sight of the resistance and acceptance, well, what happens is you might get free of that first narcissistic relationship, but if you haven't taken the time to really work on you and get you to a place where you're not trying to seek all of these other things, where you haven't accepted that wrong, okay? Well, you're in a pattern that you've learned to live in now, and what do? You go to another narcissist. And you might get free of that. And your friends are even saying, dude, what are you doing? What the hell are you thinking? But that's what you've made your normal. And then you get free of them. And probably lose a couple of friends along the way because they're like, what the hell's going on, man? Why are you still with this person? But they've got you in this place of where you doubt yourself. You doubt your own aspects. Skinny just put in, narcissists will also steal your hand and my buddy Dave can attest to this. I'm just saying it happens. And loving the show. I appreciate that you're here, man. And if everyone wants to come up here and share some thoughts, I want to open the stage up to you at this moment. You are listening to part 1 of what's going to be a 5-part series this week. And today's topic is when you dance with a narcissist. And yeah. Skinny, welcome up, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. Thank you for having me. And it was supposed to be ham, not
ham.
Kind of
okay.
Go between Dave and I.
Got you.
But yeah, you hit home with me on the whole narcissist thing because it's, man alive, a lot of people don't. If you've never dealt with a narcissist, and I mean a true narcissist, because let's face it, a lot of people out there have an idea of what a narcissist is, but have not ever actually dealt with a true narcissist. And I mean, we're talking to the bone narcissism at its worst.
Exactly.
And I just got to say, it's mind blowing when you deal with somebody like that because they are so invested in that they cannot even see it themselves. And if you point it out, God forbid, then you're the bad guy. You're that asshole. It's just horrible. So,
always.
It's but I love the fact that you're talking about it because I just recently got out of a very turbulent, very terrible relationship a few months ago, and she was, and I'm sure still is, a textbook narcissist.
Right.
And I'm talking to the bone, and there was no getting through. And I started reevaluating. That's one of the points I wanted to bring up from what you just literally just said. I started reevaluating my life and thinking about the different relationships I've been in and the broken marriages and so forth. And I got thinking, damn, there's a pattern here. It directly correlates.
Yeah.
And I can't stand narcissist people, but yet that's the people I ended up choosing,
Right.
if that makes
Right.
any sense. So there's definitely a pattern and a mindset that you fall into that you
Yes.
don't even realize. And I guess it's what subconsciously we'd say. But
Well, right. Yeah, because all of a sudden that's what becomes your normal. That's what's become
yeah,
what you accept. And excuse me, it also comes from that place where, you know, you're it's hard to look it's hard sometimes for us to face what we've actually allowed ourselves to endure in these kind of relationships. Listen, I've been in one too. And then and you sit back sometimes and you're like, what am I thinking? You know? I mean, hopefully we get to that place. Sometimes we don't because we don't want to see that. We don't want to
right.
accept the fact that we've allowed this to happen or we've endured this abuse or whatever the case may be. And then we just think though we always hold on to that hope. Oh, but they're going to change. They're going to
Right,
change.
right.
It's going to get better. They really do love me. No, they don't.
Yeah,
Now we
that's
are
like
talking
me
about now
sitting here and
true.
hold my breath and
Yeah.
you know
Yes.
wait on things to happen. And that was the oh my God. There's just so much about this that hits home and but for me it became like you said, it became a way of life. It literally was a way of life. I restructured my entire life and everything I did
Yes.
around this person and how this person was going to feel about it, or how much hell I was going to catch from this person. And so I cut myself off from all my friends, my family, social media, everything, trying to please this person and keep the turbulence down. Not because I didn't realize necessarily, I always knew that she was narcissistic, and but at the same time, I loved her, and I was trying my damnedest to hold on. And looking at it now, I don't know what I was trying to hold on to other than just the idea of the relationship that actually never existed, if it
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I became trapped in it, man. It was like being in a prison, like being stuck in hell every day of your life, trying to make this person see and thinking, like you said, you go through it, and people on the outside looking in don't understand it, but you go through this period of time where you honestly have made yourself believe the lies this person's told you, and this
Yes.
person does love me, this person's going to change, this is what's
Right.
going to, and maybe if I do this it'll make them see, and on and on and on and on until you are not you anymore, and you're stuck in this prison and in this pattern. And finally it took, I came 800 plus miles away, everybody knows the story, to start over in life.
Right.
And this person exited my life immediately within a week. And thank God I had the support I had, because even then, I was still sitting there. I found myself like days after she had left, sitting there thinking to myself, and trust me, she left in a real bad way, but I was still sitting there second guessing myself. Is there more I could have done? Should I behave this way? Should I have done this? Should I have not done that? And that's how deeply a narcissistic person can get inside your head and screw you up
Oh,
without you
absolutely.
even knowing it.
That's right.
And so thank God I had the support I had, because they were sitting there like, yeah, but you're better than this. You deserve better than this. This is
That's
what's
right.
really going on. This really happened, you know. And it finally dawned on me, hey, stupid, you're smarter than this. You know
Right.
these things. You deserve better than that. And do you want to spend the rest of your life doing this? And of
Right.
course, I don't. So, like, it helped me get past it and get over it. But man, it was a journey for a long damn time to get there, really, because it leaves it impacts your life in such a way that it leaves such a mark on your soul, even,
Yeah.
you know. And now, like, anybody gives me the least red flags, I'm out, you know, just because I don't want to ever go back to that life again, you know. And so, to anybody who's ever dealt with a narcissist, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you who haven't, trust me, it's nothing like you'll ever see in your lifetime.
That's right.
And I apologize for coming up here and taking up so much of your
No,
time.
no, no. I'm glad you came up, and
Yeah, it
and
really
it
ain't.
really is. And I do want to mention this, just because I know I'm going to get a comment at some point. But let me throw this out there. Every single human being on this planet has, on occasion, done something that would be considered narcissistic. Here's the difference.
Absolutely.
Here's the difference: is that most of us actually still do have, though, a heart and a brain and compassion and empathy. We have that part of the brain that actually knows right from wrong and cares about it. So let's
Right.
get that out there. And so what we're talking about in this segment here is a more true narcissistic sociopathic kind of person. Okay, which is a big difference. All right.
Yeah, well,
So
they have to have that absolution of control.
yeah, yeah,
They do. And they should be salesmen or politicians because they can sell you on that prison that you're going to be in with them.
oh yeah,
And,
oh they can sell you misery like it's a
yes,
4 day 3 night beach vacation.
yes.
That's right.
You'll find yourself, and that's the worst part of it. I think that's been the hardest part for me to overcome out of all this because Dave can tell you, I deal with, I've had a lot of depression. It don't sound right coming out of my mouth, but I have. I've dealt with a lot of depression over this because here's the thing for me. I know I'm an intelligent person,
Right.
and to look back on what that done to my life, how it led me to the point I was at prior to coming here, and the whole 9 yards. That feeling, that sinking feeling of looking stupid to everybody else, because a lot of people saw this going on. A lot of people were telling me all along the way, "Hey man, why are you putting up with that? Why are you going back there? Why are you taking her back? Why are you doing this?" And the whole time I was defending, saying, "Well, she loves me. This is going to
Exactly.
change. This will pass."
Exactly.
And on the other side of it, when you come out of it, like I was done, I knew I was done. But the problem for me was wrapping my head around the idea that I had allowed myself to be so stupid and look so stupid to other people. That was the part that I couldn't swallow, and that was the hardest part for me. And that's what I mean by the aftermath,
Yeah.
the mark that it leaves on you as a person. You go into this thing of self doubt and self
Yeah.
loathing
Yeah.
because you allowed that. So it's
That's
a
right.
very screwed up place to be, but it's something. There's something to be said for people that come back from it, and I am coming back from it. Don't take me wrong.
Absolutely, you are.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not licking my wounds or anything like that today. I'm actually looking forward to moving on in my life. I got a lot of positive things going on. I got the best support system I couldn't have even dreamed of the support system I have now. But it's just,
And see, that's
it's
amazing.
just, yeah. But it's just so heartbreaking when you
It
look
is.
back on things like this and you say, God, how did I end up there? And why did I stay? You know?
Right. Well, and because it attacks you. Look, attacking your integrity is one of the big things here. Okay. So when your
Hmm.
integrity as a person gets attacked, that's hard for us to deal with. I don't want my.
Right.
You don't want to damage your integrity as a person. And the thing is, the the fact that you even care about your integrity is a very huge point here. Okay, because
Yep.
they don't care about their integrity. What
No.
they care about is facilitating their world, period. And you are simply an instrument and somebody giving some kind of resource to them for their world and their life. Okay? So,
Right.
yeah, so when you start getting lost in that point of, dude, how can this be? And then you're like, but I love this person. And you know what? We're going to do this and it's going to help and it's going to do. That's where they want you to be because they're just stringing you along at this point.
Oh
They're
yeah.
just stringing you along. So,
Well, it's kind of like that song. There's a verse in a song that I love, and part of that, one of the lines in there is, "I hate you, I hate you, I hate you," but I was just kidding myself. You know,
right?
I
Yeah.
went through that whole scenario too, to where she had left once before, and I was like, "I hate her, I hate her, I hate her, I hate her. I want to stay away from her. I'm not doing this anymore." And then the minute she reached out to me, boom, all that was somehow gone. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, I'm ready to work past it. Please come home. That kind of thing.
Right. Right.
So the mentality of a narcissistic person, they prey on the fact that you are so willing to love and so desperately want to love and fix somebody and help somebody. So if you're a
Well, that's
people
right.
pleaser, yeah, so
Oh
if
yeah,
you're a people pleaser, you're going to fall victim to them if you're not really, and now, I know, and it's going to sound crazy, and it took 45 years to get there, but now I know what to look for. I know what the symptoms and the signs are. I know what the behavior is, the mannerism is, and so now I know what to do to a point. But still, I can see where it would be very easy to get sucked back into something like
oh,
that. Not with her necessarily, but I'm saying, she has no chance of ever impacting my life again. That's gone and done. But there's still always that next person looking for that person like myself.
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I have to be very careful because my God, it's a screwed up place to be when you think about it because I'm not willing to change who I am anymore. That's the other
Right,
side to it. And I'm
right.
not willing to stop being that person that wants to love somebody just because somebody walked on me like that or did me that way. You know what I'm saying? But then
Absolutely.
again, there's a part of you that says, screw it, I'm not going to put myself out there like that no more. I'm going to change all that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you got to be very careful, I think, after coming out of a relationship like that to
absolutely.
not allow it to change who you are.
That's right. That's right. And sadly, that's the cycle that happens, is that
Hmm.
it starts changing, or you feel it changing you. But see, this is why it is important that one, you do got people around you that actually see what's going on and they're helping you get out of it, and not just sitting quiet like, well, they know what's going on. You know, Skinny,
Right.
yeah, he knows the situation. He's fine. He'll be all right. Right. But
Yeah.
see, that is not what's going to help us be, getting to that different place. And we do have to get to where we are truly in that place of realizing what I was talking about. Look, you got a choice. It's resistance or acceptance. And part of that acceptance is accepting the fact that some people, that's just how they are. And you're not ever going to change it.
Right. And
You
you're going
know?
to have to separate yourself from it.
That's right. You got to
It's going to
separate
mean
from it.
nothing to you.
That's right.
And I'm going to say this too. And I say this jokingly, but not really. It's actually kind of true. I've gotten to a place now with my support system, which, as a lot of you know, Sam and Dave are my best friends in the whole world. I've got a big brother now, and I got a little sister now, and I love them dearly. And I've said this to them from here on out. I'm not going to allow myself to make those same mistakes if at all possible. So now, in order for a woman to get to me, she's going to have to go through my big brother and my little sister.
I love it. I
She's
love
going to
it.
have to come to dinner with
You
me.
got
They're
the.
going to have to
That's
assess the
right.
situation.
Hey man,
So
you got the you have the relationship council set up. That's pretty cool. I
that's
like
right.
that.
That's right.
That's a good thing to do,
They're my
man.
tribe, and you got to go through the tribal council to get to me. That's how it works. I'm sorry,
I
ladies,
love
but
it.
that's just the way it is.
I love it. I love it. Well,
I'm
Skinny,
not
I
going to
love
make
your share,
any of
man.
those decisions anymore.
I
Hey, brother, I love you,
love
and
it.
I love your shows. You always have some good stuff.
I appreciate that, man, and I appreciate you just sharing. I love your story because it is on point, and I love that. And guys, I want to thank everybody that's in this space right now and in this show. Today's part one of five. Okay, and so I encourage you, if you missed the beginning, please go back and listen to the replay. I've also posted in the fortune cookie here. If you want to click that, that's the article I wrote. That's what I've been reading out and sharing in today's show. But we're going to be doing this now for the rest of the week, and tomorrow's part two. I encourage you, please don't miss this week. It's going to be very powerful. And if you know people who are either in in this kind of relationship or are still struggling with the after effects, try to get them into these shows this week. Okay, it's going to be a really powerful week, and we're going to be cultivating at the end of this to really really offering all of this resources and everything of like how do you deal with the aftermath. And that's where we're taking this. I want this to be a very powerful week of liberation from breaking free of the abuse, the emotional abuse, sometimes the physical of these kind of relationships that we put this behind, and we do not want to repeat this. I don't want to see any of you, anybody. I don't want to see anybody ever having to repeat into this cycle intentionally. Right? Let's bring the awareness. Let's bring some resources, and that's what this week is designed to do. So, and guys, I sadly have to end this remote. I want to thank you all for being here, and I hope you have a very blessed and amazing rest of your Monday. And if you guys have, if you have any comments or questions that I'm not answering for you right at this moment, please hit my profile, and you can reach out to me on Twitter or on Instagram, and my website's there as well. So I definitely am open to answering questions on the back channel if need be, and so forth. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. Love this community so very much. Love all of you. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.